What's up, guys? Mark Dice here in the Rose Garden at the White House.
Now that I'm back home, it seems like it was all just a dream, but I've got the pictures to prove it.
Can't wait to see CNN freak out when they find out that I'm here.
That's me talking to the president. Not only did the president bring us into the Rose Garden for the address, but he kicked the mainstream media reporters out of the seats and gave them to us.
Typically when I do videos like this, I get an unusual amount of downvotes, partly because these days people are more interested in backing YouTube or mainstream personalities than they are standing on principle. So if you're still checked into the cult of personality and hang on every morsel flung out to you by your chosen YouTube rock star, fair warning, you're probably not going to like this one. But truth fears no scrutiny, and there's no place for cognitive dissonance when you're honestly attempting to unearth and embrace that truth. As most of you already know, many YouTube influencers, including Mark Dice, Brandon Tatum, David Harris, Joy Villa, Fleckus Talks, James O'Keefe, and many more, were invited to attend the first social media summit at the White House, where one of the focuses was the censorship that conservatives are experiencing online. It was basically a list of who's who in the alternative media space. But I want to focus on the presence of Mark Dice and talk about the highlights he thought were noteworthy from his perspective. And the reason I want to do this is because it's important for us to realize that a lot of people watch the content of the social media influencers who attended, so it seems like the top priority, if you really cared about your audience and getting the truth out there and exposing the lies of the left, would be at least to come prepared. It seems like you would try to remove yourself from the equation as much as possible and not make it about you or how important you think you are, or look at me, I'm at the White House. Look at me, I'm talking to the president. Hey, look at us, we're in the Rose Garden. Mark Dice alone averages 7 to 10 million views a month, so he has a huge influence. And because it's basically your job, you know that when you get to the White House for this event, you're gonna encounter employees of mainstream media. Dice spends the bulk of his time online talking about and criticizing, often rightly criticizing, the teleprompter readers of fake stream media. This is his golden opportunity as an independent journalist to come loaded for bear, camera in hand, and personally expose these fakers face to face. Expose them with the facts. But all Mark has shown us is 2 videos where he singled out Jim Acosta and spent valuable time shaming Acosta for dismal book sales compared to his own book sales.
Hey Jim, how come your book didn't make it above the top 50 on Amazon's bestseller list?
It was a New York Times bestseller.
Well, that's an honorary title, of course. It fell off the
Wall Street
Amazon
Journal bestseller.
It fell off the
USA
Amazon
Today bestseller was also a bestseller in Canada.
It fell off the Amazon
Look it
top
all
one.
up yourself.
It fell off the Amazon top 100 list after 2 days. So.
How does it feel to live in your mother's basement?
Actually, I make my videos in my kitchen, which get about 1/3 of the views of your mainstream shows.
Your mother's kitchen?
It's my kitchen. That's fun, Jim.
Be respectful. Let's be respectful.
All right.
This is the White House.
Well, I will. Have a nice
Your
life.
mother's basement.
No, it's my kitchen, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your mother's
Where I get 1/3 of the viewers of Anderson Cooper, and I'm just a guy on a laptop.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
Mark basically mocked a mainstream puppet for anemic book sales and bragged about how many views he gets on his laptop in his kitchen as opposed to CNN. Because of the crap corporate media puts out, people are literally dying, wars are being started, political campaigns are being supercharged, lies are being told because of these people in Operation Mockingbird, CIA-driven mainstream media, and all Mark could do was mock Acosta for weak book sale numbers and low view counts compared to him? How does that benefit any listener? And if you guys think I'm off base for asking these questions, leave your thoughts in the comments section below.
Well, I sent you a copy, actually, at CNN. Jim.
I didn't.
This is not the time or the place.
I think that went into file 13.
Hey, any resemblance to you on the cover is strictly a coincidence and unintentional.
Say hi to your mom for me.
Yeah. You got a great writer, Jim. You're coming up with some real great ones.
And of course, Acosta, because he's the epitome of fake news, could only come up with ad hominem phrases. But Dice came not only unarmed with truth, but made it look like he was only there to promote his own self-importance. The book Mark's referring to is this one, The True Story of Fake News, How Mainstream Media Manipulates the Masses. He wrote a whole book on this, giving example after example of how mainstream media controls the narrative, lies to people, and pushes nefarious agendas. And when given the golden opportunity to meet these people head on, you'd think he'd go to every agent of fake news with a list of questions and examples and call them out for the world to see firsthand how they fumble and fail before the standard of truth and honest Socratic questioning. Just on CNN alone, Mark could have asked Acosta why he continues to work for a network where they employ a guy like Van Jones, who privately admits that the Trump-Russia collusion story was a nothing burger, while he goes on air to push the very thing he knows to be false for 2 solid years. He could have talked about how CNN faked Bahrain content, only to find out from former CNN correspondent Amber Lyon that the whole thing is a show.
Bahrain is paying CNN to create content that shows Bahrain in a favorable light, even though CNN says this content, is editorially independent.
Dice could have asked Acosta to give an account for CNN faking the interview of a supposed random guy in the streets after Hillary Clinton lost to promote the idea of dissolving the Electoral College. This random guy ended up being CNN cameraman John Gurkovic. Mark could have asked why CNN faked a live interview between Nancy Grace and Ashley Banfield, where they were supposed to be communicating with each other from halfway around the world, but turns out they were sitting about 30 feet from each other in the same parking lot with the same cars going by. Or how about this? Hey Jim, CNN claims to be unbiased, yet Chris Cuomo admitted on air that Hillary got a free ride from the media and that CNN was the biggest one promoting her campaign.
To other folks who want a
It's a
chance
problem
to run against her.
because she's doing what they call in politics freezing pockets. Because the donors are giving her money thinking she's going to run. That means they're not going to have available money for other candidates
Exactly.
if she doesn't. And I don't think she's going to give it to them.
She's on her way to deciding.
We'll see.
About deciding.
We couldn't help her any more than we have.
I know.
You know what I mean? She's
I know.
got just a free ride so far from the media. We're the biggest ones promoting her campaign. So
Hey Jim, you worked for a company that had Charles Jaco and Carl Rochelle pretend to be under attack on a live broadcast to push a war for your warmongering corporate owners and their banking buddies. Can you explain that one, Jim? Or how about CNN promoting the lie that it's illegal to possess the WikiLeaks disclosure of the Clinton emails, but it's okay for them?
it's illegal to possess these stolen documents. It's different for the media. So everything you learn about this, you're learning from us.
And guys, these are just some things I thought of off the top of my head. Mark Dice has a whole book on this crap. He knew he was going to be at the White House. He knew he would encounter fake news reporters, and all he could come up with was mocking Acosta and promoting the idea that he, with a laptop in his kitchen, gets a third of the views of CNN. How does that further the cause of truth? How does that wake anybody up to the fakery of mainstream media? Now somebody could say, yeah, it's easy for you, Brian. You weren't there. You're just armchair quarterbacking this. Guys, he was there for the social media summit. That's the perfect time to go toe-to-toe with the very people you criticize every single day. That's the perfect time to show your viewers that you're not just talking about these people, you're talking to them about things that really matter. And to make matters worse, Mark had a second chance because he ran into Acosta again the next day. And this is all Dice could come up with.
Hey, Jim.
How's Mom?
So you just pull out these corny lines, Jim.
tell ya.
My book beat yours on Amazon.
Is that right? Wow.
It did. The true story of fake news.
Were you able to color inside the lines?
So here you've got a fake news puppet, Jim Acosta, being confronted by someone who would label himself as a truther, and the best we can get is, my book is better than your book? Maybe Mark will come up with something more substantial.
You see, this is how
they thought it
arrogant,
was funny.
Jim, this is how arrogant you guys are, though. I'm just a YouTuber on my laptop in my kitchen,
Gotcha, okay.
and my book sold more than yours, Jim. My YouTube videos get a third of Anderson Cooper's views, and you're disrespecting me because you're so arrogant.
I don't know how you could possibly pat yourself on the back any more than Mark is doing here. Who cares how many more books you sold than a fake news agent? How about putting this guy on the spot with some truth that matters? Show people why CNN is fake news. Use this golden opportunity to come face to face with a representative of the manipulation machine known as the Communist News Network. Come on, man.
I don't know if that's the case, but hey, since you're recording me, I'll
Yeah,
record
sure.
you guys.
Hey,
There you
thanks
go.
for unblocking me on
Yeah.
Twitter, though, by the
You know,
way. Jim, I think you owe me an apology for thinking that I make my YouTube videos in my mother's basement. Make them in the kitchen, Jim.
You know, if
on
it's
my
your mother's-
laptop.
If it's your mother's kitchen or your mother's
No,
basement, I apologize.
but seriously though, Jim.
Let me just correct the record here. I'm sorry that
in Mark Dice's kitchen.
I'm sorry that I said it was in your mother's basement when it was in your mother's kitchen. I apologize.
It's my kitchen, Jim.
I see.
And
All
this
right.
just shows you how arrogant you are about the new social
Mark,
media technology.
It would be great if you could find a gainful career besides what you're
Writing
doing right
best-selling
now,
books
where
and
you're-
becoming a top YouTuber and
you're just
being a
harassing
social
people out on the
influencer,
street. I mean,
supporting the
it's a
president,
hell of a life-
debunking fake news
it's
from
a
the
hell of a
Clown
life
News
that you
Network.
carved out for yourself.
Mark, if you happen to see this video, I'd like a response. And of course, Mark Dice fans love this. I don't think we're going to tear down the machine by sitting in our own corners proclaiming our own greatness. Look how many views I get. Look how popular I am. Look how many books I've sold. Look how blessed I am. Hey mom, look, I'm in the rose garden. That's me talking to the president. People love this.
It is fantastic. I'm living the dream, Jim. It's amazing. God has blessed me with so much.
If that's
This
what
is
you
a
call it.
divine appointment, Jim.
Yeah, well, it's great to hear. You know, you're a hell of an American, and it seems like what you're doing out here is making a real difference. So.
Oh, thank you so much. It really is. I feel that every day.
Well, I just hope that you give my best to your mother. I hope you move.
You
from
sound like a broken record. No wonder why your ratings are failing.
I hope you move from the basement to the attic.
No wonder why my videos are crushing the Clown News Network. A guy on a laptop.
I'm not sure.
There's more to this Dice video, and I'll leave the link in the description below for you. Mark is not alone in proclaiming his own greatness here. Other influencers who attended the event appeared to be quite starstruck themselves as they bragged about being with the president or being invited to the Rose Garden or sitting in the seats while mainstream media had to stand in the back. I've watched a lot of videos from these guys, and from what I saw, it was just a massive brag fest. No hard questions were asked, no in-your-face interviews were given to so-called mainstream press, no rock-solid exposures and examples of mainstream media lies. Just a lot of gushing, a lot of bragging, and a lot of nonsense. It just further solidified to me that the left versus right paradigm lie continues to metastasize as the state gains power and wealth from those who continue to imagine that government is legitimate. Leave your thoughts about this for the world, the Google Thought Police, and every social media influencer who thinks it's more important to brag about their own popularity than it is to make a real change in the world in the comments section below.
As the sort of YouTube ambassador at the White House Social Media Summit, I'm confident that I represented us well. And this wasn't just for show. This is the beginning of something very big. And a big thanks to all of you guys for helping make my channel great over the years, because I wasn't just there for me, I was there for you, and hope I made you proud.
If you guys enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know. Also, check out over 100 hard-hitting designs in the shirt store, and if you want to support more content, hit me up on Patreon or PayPal. All those links will be in the description and in the pinned comment. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.